So you've got all your paperwork and information organized, and now you're ready to file your federal income tax return. How do you find the right person for your largest annual financial transaction and help to file an accurate tax return and guarantee you get the biggest tax refund you're owed? I'm Mark Steber, Chief Tax Information Officer at Jackson Hewitt, and today I'm sharing what you need to know about how to find the right tax pro for you, a subject I'm passionate about. And even if you don't file with Jackson Hewitt, I don't want you to get scammed or have a bad experience. I want you to get a guarantee on the biggest accurate tax refund you can get, and that does exist if you know how to look for it. It matters who does your taxes. When should you work with a tax professional? Well, I've been working in this field for more than 30 years, and I rarely come across a time when someone should not work with a tax expert. Sure, you can file your taxes with an online DIY product or even use your smartphone. We even have self-preparation software at Jackson Hewitt. But I'm almost guaranteeing you it'll be well worth your time and money to have your taxes done by a trained, experienced, and knowledgeable tax professional, and for you to develop practices and habits for finding that tax professional. Most people don't have a simplistic life, not in the last 20 years at least. And even if you think you might, you probably don't, especially when it comes to your income and, by extension, your income taxes. You likely have multiple income streams, many life activities from side gigs to complex family structures that change every year. You could be eligible for tax credits and deductions you don't even realize, which could lower your tax liability, meaning you'd pay the IRS and states less and you could probably get a bigger tax refund. But you're not going to find that money on your own, on a TikTok video, YouTube tips, or Tax Pro Uncle Bob, which is why it's a good idea to work with a real tax professional. It matters who does your taxes. It's especially a good idea to work with a tax expert when you've gone through a life change compared to last year. Did you have or adopt a child this year? Or did you have a child turn 17? Did you start a new job? Did you start earning money on the side through self-employment work or a side hustle? Or even retire? What about buying or selling a home? Or move to a new state? Invest in the stock market or virtual currencies or inherit some assets? These are all huge moments in life on their own, but they can also mean there's a change in your tax return. And working with a tax professional who understands and can navigate the complex tax laws will help you make sure you not only file an accurate tax return, but will help you get the biggest tax refund you're owed. What kind of tax professionals are there anyway? Well, there are many types of tax experts available to you during tax season and year-round. And you have options, and you should take time finding who will be best for your personal and unique situation, and take it seriously. There are certified public accountants or CPAs like me. There are enrolled agents and attorneys. There are also just people out there who have no formal regulated credentials but have training and experience and can still file a tax return on your behalf. But the most important factor is to work with a tax pro who you trust with your most personal information and who is looking out for you. This person will know about your marital status, your children, your income, and your Social Security number and bank account information and more. In short, the most important financial details of your life. You shouldn't just trust someone off the street with this information. It's just too big a risk. And there are flags to tell you if you have the right person or you do not. Like I said, just about anyone can say they're a professional tax preparer. Most good preparers and all paid tax preparers must have a P10, or a Preparer Tax Identification Number, and will sign your tax return and put their P10 on your tax return. But some do not, and yet others just fake it. So before you trust someone to do your taxes, make sure they are what they claim to be. And it's easy. A few simple steps and some basic questions, and maybe a small action or two on your part is all that is needed. You need to be vigilant so you don't find yourself working with a ghost preparer, a scammer, or someone even worse. I recommend, at a minimum, confirming the tax preparer's credentials on the IRS directory of federal tax return preparers with credentials and select qualifications. There are a few more key simple steps and some best practice questions I'll share in just a moment. So stay tuned. At Jackson Hewitt, we're on your side. All our tax pros are required to take our fundamentals of tax preparation courses, and many take many more, including advanced tax training over their careers. These classes provide our experts an understanding of several tax topics, including what information the IRS and states require, filing basics, and an in-depth knowledge of key tax credits and deductions to make sure you have an accurate tax return and get the guaranteed biggest refund available to you. What questions should you ask your tax pro? As noted earlier, before you decide to hire someone to file your federal and even state income tax return, there are a few questions you should ask to make sure they're the right person for you and they are legit. Do you have a P-10, a prepared tax identification number? Who will sign my tax return? What guarantees do you offer? What is your background and how long have you been working here? How long has your company been in business? Do you understand local and state laws in addition to the federal tax laws? Do you understand things specifically related to my personal situation? For example, if you're in the military, retired, or in a complex family situation. What records and tax documents do you need from me? Will you file an electronic tax return or paper tax return? And will I get a copy of it? What happens if the IRS or state has questions or wants to audit my tax return? Do you have client testimonials and reviews that I can see? And just as important, how much are you going to charge and how is that determined? If your prospective pro is not proud to share these things with you or to brag on themselves with references and their practices, that's a big red flag, especially regarding their answer to signing the tax return. And please be aware of anyone who charges you a fee based on your tax refund, or even worse, guarantees you will get a refund and wants part of it. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad people out there. But here's some common red flags to watch for that you shouldn't work with them. They don't have a prepared tax identification number, or P-10, and have bad credentials or no credentials that you can verify. They won't sign your tax return, or they ask you to sign a blank tax return. Or if they say a signature is not needed, please know it's a rule that a paid tax professional must sign their work. Now, this can be electronic, but it's also easy to fake. So watch for that step at the end. And if it's anything less than clear to you, be cautious. And as I said earlier, if they promise or even guarantee a huge refund, regardless of your personal situation, taxes are calculated at the end, and that cannot be known beforehand. They tell you that their fee is based on a percentage of your tax refund. This is a big red flag. They aren't available year-round. Basically, anything that sounds too good to be true or just smells kind of funky for a tax return. You will know it when you hear it, and if you need a reality check, take a pause and see a tax pro you do trust and ask them if it sounds right. They will tell you. And finally, do your own research on the internet by reading reviews. If there is no history, that is a red flag that something is not right. At Jackson Hewitt, we want to help you file an accurate tax return and get the biggest refund you're owed. If you're talking to an expert who isn't excited about this, you're not talking to the right preparer. Schedule an appointment today on jacksonhewitt.com to get started. Let me know in the comments what is most important to you when finding a tax expert. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more valuable information and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all things taxes.